Judges, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Isabel Grace Crawford. I go to Avalon Elementary School. I'm in the 4th grade and I'm 10 years old. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My title of oration is Awake. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Isabel Grace Crawford. I'm in the 4th grade at Avalon Elementary School. Today I'm going to be giving you a speech on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was awake through a great revolution of human rights. While he was awake, he said many things to spark the revolution of his time, such as, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. He wrote that from a Birmingham jail, April 16, 1963. While he was arrested many times during the Civil Rights Revolution for speaking the truth. During this horrible time in our country's history, there was hatred and horror, but one man lit the fuse to spark America's second revolution. Like when Dr. King said, we must learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or perish as fools. Without Dr. King, my school would be much different. I wouldn't have my best friends would be at much different schools. I wouldn't have had the same teachers or even principal. Now I am awake because of Dr. King's revolution. I must continue his revolution. I can treat kids with physical or mental disabilities the same way I would treat my friends or my family. I can treat everyone equal and share what I have. I can give to the poor. So I will continue Dr. King's revolution. With help from other kids like me, we can change the world. I am awake, and I will not fall asleep in the world. Thank you for your time.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and judges. My name is Candy Diane. I am 10 years old. I am in the 5th grade, and I go to Avalon Elementary in Columbus City Schools. The title of my oration is, The Revolution is Still Here. In a time not so long ago, there was segregation in our country. We were separated, judged, and assumed just by skin color. When the days of segregation ended, that was a revolution. There were bills being signed and doors being opened to all races, yet there was and is still racism. People are judged by stereotypes, still there is racism. People judge the acts of one and put it on a whole race. Still there is racism. These things wouldn't be noticed by someone who isn't awake, someone who has their eyes closed. So they won't know the great revolution we're going through. The revolution is coming. I can see it through the acts of people everywhere. We aren't sure what's coming from this revolution, but as Dr. King said, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. So now, more than ever, we need to remain awake through this great revolution. A revolution to me is a huge change that affects the lives of many, a chain reaction that changes lives. That, to me, is a revolution. In one short word, change. There are revolutions going on all around the world. In some countries, women aren't treated as fairly as men. To me, this is worse than segregation because this affects a whole gender. There are many races, but only 2 genders. To end the many wars in our world, we must understand Dr. King's famous quote, "True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice." Regardless of the consequences of this contest today, I want to leave you all with the action that I will take, which is to remain awake through a great revolution. And I think you all should do the same. Thank you.
My name is Ibrahim Asila, and I am 10 years old in the 5th grade. I go to Avalon Elementary School in Miss Davis's class. The topic of my speech is marching alone. If If you're marching alone, then you should keep on marching, even if you're alone, because it will show your strength, and you do not need followers to earn your rights. It will also show that you fight for your rights till the end, like Dr. King. He marched and protested all the time, and just because he's gone doesn't make the revolution over. Things are still changing. So I ask you to open your eyes and see what you miss when you close your eyes. And if you stay awake, then you won't miss as much. And since things are already changing, I will take part in the change, and I hope you do too. Thank you for your time.
Avalon Elementary School. Her ambition is to become a chemist.
Judges, ladies, and gentlemen, my name is Brianna Walker. I'm 11 years old and in the 5th grade. I go to Avalon Elementary School in Miss Davis's class. The topic of my oration is sitting at the big table. Listen, do you hear it? It starts out as a shout, but grows into a whisper, and finally turns into a revolution. You ask how a shout grows into a whisper and turns into a revolution? Well, it starts with one simple word: we. The preamble to the Constitution contains the word we only once. That was the shout. In the I Have a Dream speech by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the word we was spoken 8 times. That was the whisper. When I was very little, we had 2 Thanksgiving tables, one for little kids and the other for the adults. I used to sit there for hours and hours listening to the adults talk about change and how the world will be in the future. As I sat there, I told myself that if any of these changes will occur, it will start with me, remaining awake through a great revolution. This can't be a choice, but an honor. So, while you're sitting at the little table or the big one, having dinner with your family, remember that revolution starts in the mind of only one person. Be that person. Talk about change everyone has seen and the hopes they would like to see. Shh! Do you hear it? Even now, the alarm clock is going off in my head, telling me to stay awake, for the revolution is upon us. In closing, I told you that the most powerful word is we. So remember these words, and let's all follow in the footsteps of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you.
I'm 11 years old and in the 5th grade at Avalon Elementary School. I'm here to speak to the youth of today about remaining awake through a great revolution. Beep, 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 youth. My name is Zora Whitfield, and I'm here to tell you it's time to wake up because the revolution continues on. Rub your eyes, stand up tall, and get your thinking caps on. There's still much work to be done. Our ancestors have started the job, so now let's continue. They have made it so that we can have many rights and liberties. I, as a young lady, can now look forward to not just knowing the issues, but voting on them too. I know my voice will be heard with countless other women around the world. I have done nothing for this right, but thanks to the others, my future is bright. When I grow up, I can become a lawyer because of my ancestors who made it so that African Americans can be educated in the best schools across the nation. The success of the next generation depends on us, and we must always keep our eyes open to help improve our world. As Dr. King said in 1965, there are all too many people who, in some great period of social change, fail to receive the new mental outlooks that the new situation demands. There is nothing more tragic than to sleep through a revolution. We must remain awake. A role model you can look up to when you need help remaining awake through the revolution is Dr. King. In 1954, Dr. King and his wife had to make a decision: to move south and deal with the Jim Crow laws, or to stay where they were in Boston, where he attended college and they were treated fairly. Most people would have decided to stay where they were, but Dr. King and his wife decided that they would move back south because they felt that they needed to be a part of the great revolution that was taking place. As youth, we can help make changes by remaining awake like Dr. King and his wife and paying attention to what's going on around us. Two of the most significant issues, I believe, are climate change and poverty. Floods, hurricanes, and tsunamis are happening more frequently because of climate change. Most people have been ignoring climate change. These people were what Dr. King would consider to be asleep. As he said, there is nothing more tragic than to sleep through a revolution. Three of the most significant issues I believe are, did you know that because of climate change, the world's three biggest agricultural products, corn, rice, and wheat, have been going down in many developing countries? This could lead to famine and death in countries that are already suffering. Scientists also believe that because of climate change, scientists also believe that the conditions that created Hurricane Sandy were related to climate change. This storm cost New York $32 billion, along with many lives, jobs, and homes. So how can we as youth remain awake and continue the revolution and find a solution to this problem? We can remain awake and be proactive by teaching others to reduce pollution by making simple changes such as powering down electronics, using less water, recycling, and biking instead of driving. If we work together, as Dr. King taught, we can make a big difference and fight off climate change. Poverty also remains a challenge that we must remain awake to. As youth, we do not have to go far to see its effects. Many students, even some that we go to school with, are struggling with poverty on a daily basis. When they go home, they may not have a healthy meal waiting for them. Often, they rely on free and reduced breakfast and lunch programs at school as their most significant meals of the day. It is great that schools have these programs, but it is not enough. Students and members of the community can come together to organize fundraisers, food drives, educate others, and even contact politicians to find a solution to this problem. The key is to remain awake, speak up, and speak out. I hope you are now wide awake and ready to continue the legacy of Dr. King. He had a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of the former slaves and slave owners would be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. His dreams came to reality, so now I encourage all of you to fulfill your dreams. It is important as youth that we stay informed and come up with innovative solutions to the problems of tomorrow. I accept Dr. King's challenge to remain awake and continue the revolution, and I encourage you all to do the same.
Really are, because you're what makes a difference, truly. You know, you think about this event going on and so many others, and you really learn to appreciate family involvement in making things happen. So often we see the worst of things. I come here and I see the best of things. There's families are here to support their young people doing great things. And so I look forward to seeing it. That's why we continue to do this, to make sure that continues to happen here in the city of Columbus. So parents and families and brothers and sisters, for what with your family.
Give them a round of applause.
So without further ado, we will introduce the first, second, and third place finishers within the different programs here, or within the different divisions here. But although, as you did see on the junior division, we had 2 entries, so we're going to do the first place first place person with that in our junior division. So we have, also pictures. We're going to be doing pictures, and we'll have the first, second, third place persons up here after we announce them all. And then you can please come on up and take pictures, family members and what have you, while they're up here. And then we'll do that with each division. And then secondly, at the end of the event, after we've finished all 3 divisions, we would like to have all of our parents and what have you stand along on the floor here. All of our young people and what have you stand here. We'd like to get a picture from the back here. So if you could do that at the end of the program, that would be great, because we want to show, you know, our family involvement, our parental involvement, our friends and family involvement with this great event.
And I wanted to say on behalf of all of us, thank you again to our judges for your valiant work and your great efforts. Tough decisions today.
If you didn't see them in the back room, they were back there sweating as they were writing down things, you know, and then we had our people tallying from the staff. So, they took this very seriously about what they were doing, because of, all the work put into it. We know you guys, you young people, took that very seriously. So do we when coming to judge this. So, last but not least, once again, I want to make sure that we thank the Rima Christian Center for actually making this thing happen, with the resources necessary to make this happen. And once again, Nikki Jenkins, you know, working hard away. Make sure you contact her. We have repeat youth involved here, so you know we're going to be planning next year within like 20 minutes after we're done. So get signed up.
That's right. Can we have the kids? If you were a participant in years past, can you stand up so we can see you?
Yeah, see who was there. Great job. Okay, well, the moment we've been waiting for. We want to get to that. Now, on our primary division, we'll have our two helpers. We have our two helpers. Who's our two helpers? What's your name? Tell them out. All right. We're going to be bringing out the awards. And so when we do call out your names, please come on up, receive your award, but then stay up here on the stage to our left or your stage right.
And we will do an audience. We will all be doing the annual drum roll as we are about to call the names. Ready?
Our third place winner is, of the primary division, Brooklyn Barnes. Division second place winner is Malcolm Pierce. Great job. All right.
Drum roll.
Our primary division first place winner is Isaiah Manning. Stand right there. And we want to get some pictures real quick while they're up here.
Okay, in case you've managed to, bruise your thighs, we can give the old foot stomp.
The intermediate division third place winner is Caden Edwards. Okay.
Give her another round of applause. All right, let's go.
The intermediate division second place winner is Brianna Walker. Okay. Now, the intermediate first place winner is Osita Ananda. All right, as we said, there will be one first place for the junior division is McKenna Hensley.
How many contestants for it? Just 2?
Maybe one didn't show. I don't know.
Good fine job. You did a good job, too.
All right, now, what I need, and I know I just lost it about. Anybody lose this? Doesn't look like I'm like, you lost it? Oh, come on up. Come on down. You are the next winner of The Price is Right.
I'll say 50 cents, Napoleon. Higher or lower?
All right. Now what I'd like to do is I know I just had all the first and second place and third place winners and what have you. If we could have all of them come back up to take a group picture together. So we want them to come up first. And